This is a quick performance installation video for K10270. That is a big block conversion, so we're going to use a big block as a platform and convert to put some small block OEM GM brackets on the front. These brackets will be from 1996 to 1998 Chevy trucks. We're going to start by installing this plate on the passenger side head. It has a cutout here for the freeze plug right here. Now, in the kit, we have plenty of 7/16 and 3/8 bolts. These heads here have 7/16 down here and 3/8 up here. Some heads are all 3/8, some are all 7/16. So we do provide you enough to get that job done. Just got to figure out which ones you have. So we'll get these screwed on here. Just throw it anywhere. I don't think I've ever struggled that much to get one bolted up before, but here we are. It is easy to install. I just couldn't get this bottom one started threaded. We'll go ahead and tighten these up. We're going to go ahead and torque these down here. Whether it's the 3/8 or the 9/16, we're going to call out a spec of 25 foot-pounds. So just go ahead and tighten those down. And on to the next side. On this side here, we'll have two plates stacked up. Obviously, the one with the freeze plug opening will go down low, and then so that's oriented like that, and then this one lays over the top of it like that. We'll take our 3/8 by 1 1/4 inch bolts and stack those in there, and we'll get it started on the and we'll tighten these down as well. Down here on the bottom, we're going to mount this plate like so with the Siamese holes pointing out. And this one is for the standard deck, and this one is for a tall deck, so you pick which one you want. We're going to take our 3/8 long bolt here, and since we have a standard deck, we're going to bring it in from behind like that. We also have this racetrack looking item. That'll actually go behind it to space it out. And then we have two 7/16 bolts. I believe they're 1 1/4 inch. Don't let it fall out on camera like that. And then we'll drop down here. And attach this right here. Now, in the previous step, I did tighten this down to just finger tight. So that is still somewhat loose. That'll give us a little bit of wiggle room when we're mounting this bracket on both of these plates here. On the other side, it's only mounted to the one conversion plate, so it's not required to wait to torque that side, but for this side, let's wait until this next step. We're ready to install our AC bracket here, and we're going to start by sliding it on to the bolt down here. And then that'll kind of hold it in place for us as we use our 3/8 by 4 inch bolts to get it in here. You can kind of cheat a little bit on the first one to try to find where it goes. But it lines up pretty good. You just wiggle a little bit. You guys know the drill. And then we'll load up the other two and get them all squared up and lined away. And we'll take these down to finger tight, and we'll get the rest of the bolts. Down here on the bottom, we're going to take our 3/8 washer and our 3/8 nut and get this going here. And then we will be ready to go through and do a torque sequence. Gonna go ahead and tighten the 3 bolts that go into the plate here and get those torqued down to 25 foot-pounds again. Then we'll grab our wrench and come down here for the bottom one. Good. And then that attaches both, but you can still see the 2 plates are in a little bit of flux, so we'll just kind of find, but the plate is perfectly attached to itself. Let's get it attached to the block. We'll come in here behind. I know you can't see, but you remember the ones that weren't tightened up from before. We're just going to go ahead and get those tightened where they want to be. 3 on the on the plates on the block. I'll switch around on you here and get an extension. Come in for the one over here. And then two down here, which will actually be the larger bolt, need to switch out. Same torque spec, 25 foot-pounds. This side's ready to go. Let's get the bracket on the other side. Over here on this side, we have 3 bolts, and we're going to use our 3/8 by 4 inch. But what you need to do first is to actually measure this here. So that I have it pushed out all the way, and then we put our measuring stick here. And if it's more than 3/8 of an inch, we need to add a washer. The reason behind that is this plate here is threaded, and if it goes in more than 3/8 of an inch, which is the thickness of this plate, it'll actually push the plate out and cause misalignment. Ours is just over 3/8, and so in order to be safe, we're going to add the washers. But if yours isn't over 3/8, you want maximum thread engagement. So get out your ruler, take a measurement. All right, so we're ready to mount this onto the conversion plate here. Get one started like that, and just feel around a little bit, and it'll get going. Don't tighten any of them until you get all 3 of them in place. There's that one, and then that one down there. And then once you have all 3 of those tightened, you can go ahead and take them all the way down, and this will be a torque spec, once again, of 25 foot-pounds. It is a little bit easier if you take off the tensioner beforehand. A couple of things I want to draw your attention to before we mount up the accessories. This water pump pulley and this crank pulley here are both off the small block, and so this will mount right up to a 454, you know, that mid-90s 454 reverse rotation for the Serpentine that you're going to need to put on your engine if you're going from V-belts to Serpentine. So this can come when you get these, and then also the crank pulley. Now, the crank pulley is not a direct mount up. We do make an adapter plate that allows you to push this out to the correct spacing, and we can show you that. And typically we also package it together where if you know which 454 you have, whether it's the 66 to the, I think it's 93, and then 94 to 2000 will be the Gen 6 motor. So there's 2 different ones. Figure out which one you have if you want to do that. Otherwise, if you have a 454 crank down here, that'll work just fine. Let's go ahead and mount up the accessories. Now, you will need to reuse the bolts that came on the bracketry, but I'm just going to go ahead and run them down, get ready to torque them. Now, most of these are going to be metric because it's 1996 and later. And so these will call out for a torque spec of 37 foot-pounds, but we'll just get all these snagged up quickly and then break out our torque wrench. Next, we'll install the power steering pump pulley. Now, the tools for this are usually available for rental at your local parts store, so I recommend you doing that. It's also significantly easier to do it outside of the vehicle, but can't always choose the battles that you fight. Now, one thing I will say, when you're installing this, when you get to that point, you want to make sure that the pulley, let me get this off here so you can maybe see, you want the shaft and the pulley to be pretty flush. That's going to give us our best chance to line up with here, and we won't have any belt issues. Let's get a belt on this thing. So this is the general belt routing here, and we'll take our, it's kind of odd how the tensioner goes this way on these years, but what I like to do is leave this last pulley here as a just nice slip over. We do give you a belt recommendation in the instructions, but what I want you to do is actually just take a look here at the tensioner. This one doesn't have any tensioner marks really to speak of, but what you can do is you can see where it maximums out, and then you can take it this way, and you can see where it bottoms out there, and you see how it doesn't. That's the bottom right there, but it doesn't want to go there. This is probably a good length belt here. Maybe you could even go a little bit shorter. We want to run a little bit on the short side here. So as the belt stretches, you know this is going to be a new belt. As the belt stretches, it's also going to sit down further in the grooves, all of which will effectively make it longer. So we want to get a pretty short belt on here, but not so short that, you know, you're bottoming out your tensioner. Thank you for watching this quick performance installation video. If you have any questions, please email us or give us a call. We do want to help. And if you have any pictures of your install, we'd love to see those, share those on social media, or if they're even good enough, put them on our website. Thank you.